consecutive win. A lot of things have changed here the last few days. The Cubs were, 5 games out of the wild card, the first wild card spot. They're now only 1 back of the Pirates, and it's been a fun series.
Yeah, I remember how disappointing it was when the Cubs lost the final 2 games of that series in Philadelphia. They went into Pittsburgh, swept them. They've won the first 2 here, with actually 3 out of 4 in Pittsburgh, and 2 in a row here to start this weekend. Set with the Cardinals, all kinds of shenanigans going on. People getting thrown at. Joe Madden's been in the middle of it with some spicy comments. It's been fun baseball here at Wrigley this weekend.
Starlin Castro was the man of the match on Friday, tied his career high with 6 RBIs. That 2-run blast gave the Cubs the lead, and for good measure, a 3-run homer in his next at bat. But that was not, unfortunately, the story for a lot of people, as Dan Herron let one get away. Matt Holliday, very dangerous situation, got hit in the back of the helmet. Cardinals clearly not happy about it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The Cardinals could have, there's 2 ways they could have gone about it. They could have said, all right, obviously he's now throwing at our guy's head. We're going to leave it alone. They decided to go with plan B, which was, you hit our guy, so we're going to go after your big guy. Matt Belisle clearly threw that ball behind Rizzo. And that's kind of what stirred everything up for the rest of this series.
Joe Madden made his feelings known.
I'm really disappointed in what the Cardinals did right there. Absolutely. We did not hit their guy on purpose at all. That was an absolute mistake. There's no malicious intent whatsoever on Dan Herron's part. None. So to become this vigilante group that all of a sudden wants to get their own pound of flesh, that's absolutely insane and ridiculous and wrong. I mean, and furthermore, we don't start stuff, but we will stop stuff. We will end stuff. So that's their call. That was their moment right there. And furthermore, in the 9th inning, they were playing behind us when we were leading by 5 runs. The next time they do it, we're going to run. I want everybody to know that. I never read that particular book that the Cardinals wrote way back in the day. I was a big Branch Rickey fan, but I never wrote this book that the Cardinals have written regarding how to play baseball. So, if you play behind us, we're up by 5 points in the 9th, we're running, and now you have every right to do the same thing.
So that leads us to yesterday, and the Cubs with a couple of big home runs, but first they got on the board off Michael Wacha in the opening inning. Jorge Soler in the lineup. Chris Bryant drives him in. Starlin Castro continues his hot stretch. Cubs have been scoring a lot of runs in the opening inning. And this kind of put the game away, or at least it felt that way when Soler and Bryant were back-to-back in the 5th.
Yeah, impressive, because the Cubs had a bullpen game yesterday. They've gotten a lot of good work lately from Wood and Richard. Trevor Cahill, who was the winning pitcher yesterday. Bryant goes back-to-back with Soler, just about knocks it out onto Waveland Avenue. A fairly comfortable lead late, but it got a little dicey towards the end of this ball game.
And some more fireworks. So Trevor Cahill clips Colton Wong in a pitch that he was trying to get back over that inside corner and didn't. Fernando Rodney, this is the one that facilitated the warnings.
Of all the hit by pitches by the Cubs, if there's one that might have been intentional, it might have been Rodney. But Hector Rondon was the guy who paid the price. He's trying to close out this game in the 9th. There's no way that that's intentional, but he ends up getting ejected by Bruce Dreckman, who basically told him, yeah, I know you didn't hit him on purpose, but I got to run you. And in reality, he doesn't have to run him, but he chose to.
So it got very, very dicey, and this is one of the better defensive plays you'll ever see, particularly to end a ball game. Addison Russell laying out, and he got rid of that ball very quickly to Javier Baez at second base. What a play by a 21-year-old rookie. And here's Joe Madden.
I know nobody wants to believe me. You're not going to believe me. All the Cardinal Nation, God bless you, you're not going to want to believe me, and I get it. So there's no way for me to sit here and even attempt to ameliorate your concerns. None of that was intentional. It just happens as part of the game. But again, go ahead and lay it on me, man. I'm okay with it. Obviously, you know what's going on. Obviously, you have to fully understand that was not intentional. I think the fact that Fernando had hit the hitter the inning before, I think that's where that came from in the 9th inning.
Oh, some good stuff from Joe Madden. So, Chris Bryant with his 25th home run. He ties the Cubs rookie record set back in 1961 by Hall of Famer Billy Williams. JD mentioned the bullpen day. Now, Dan Herron included in that in his start on Friday. Cubs offense has been very good here in the second half, and all the ejections, a couple of managers tossed here these last 2 days. Cubs go for their first sweep over the Cards at home. since 2006. So we finished the segment very quickly. What will happen today?
Hopefully they just play baseball. We've got an outstanding pitching matchup here, Lester and Martinez. Hopefully all the other nonsense is behind us and we just play good baseball.
Okay, well, we always have some nonsense in the booth, but hopefully on the field it'll stay calm. Cap and Holly coming up after the break. John Lester will go for the Cubs today.
Game 3 of this three-game weekend set as the Cubs look to sweep away their arch rivals from St. Louis. I'm David Kaplan. This is Todd Hollinsworth. All right, Holly, let's talk about pressure because you were part of the 04 team that found a way to not get to the playoffs.
Thanks.
You were part of the 03 team in Florida that found a way to win a World Series. The Cubs haven't won in 107 years. As the pressure keeps ramping up, as playoffs become what looks to be an inevitability, how do you handle the pressure that's going to come with it every day?
Well, it's not easy. I mean, the pressure's there. You recognize that the stadium's a little bit fuller, that the attention's a little bit brighter, national television audiences and everything that goes along with it. The one thing that in 03 we did really, really well was that we internalized it as a we concept as opposed to an I concept. Baseball's an individual sport played by individuals in a team atmosphere, right? We talk about guys and their numbers and what everybody's looking to obtain, but I think back to the 03 team as, maybe not the best example. I know you don't want to hear it, but it was a selflessness that we maintained. And really in that clubhouse, it wasn't the idea that one guy had to carry us that day, one guy had to go 2 for 4 with a home run and 3 RBIs. It was the idea that as a team we were going to do this, and that the struggles that happen inside of a ball game or the failures that you had weren't going to be squarely put on your shoulders. Like, we lose this game because of you. The idea was that the next guy up was going to get it done. And you watch this Cubs team right now, I mean, that's exactly what they're playing with. It's a selflessness. It's this idea that if I don't get it done, the guy behind me will get it done. And it's not just the offense. It's not just talking about 1 through 9 and saying how deep we are. It's looking down into the bullpen and saying, this guy might not have it this day. I'll come in and get the door closed. Things like that. This team right now is playing with such a we mentality that I think they're going to be just okay. I know there's not a whole lot of experience on this team, but that's it. That's the formula. That's the key. That's the one that I would pick up on and say over and over and over again through 12 years of a big league career, the one thing that stands out.
I interviewed Dusty Baker and Lou Piniella, two managers that came close, that tried, got teams to postseason play, but did not win the ring, obviously. And Dusty said, it's okay to be nervous.
Right.
You can't be scared.
Right. Oh, I mean, it's such a great statement because that's just it. I mean, you know, I talk about it and I tell you about it all the time. There's another level there. And, you know, as a young player, you're in the minor leagues, you want to get to the big leagues and establish yourself. You want to put up great numbers. Then you realize, okay, I've been up here 2-3 years, I belong. Then what happens next is I want to go to the playoffs. I want to be a part of a contender. And it is another level. And it's one that not everybody gets to experience. But if you do, you want to come through. And the best way to do it is to just kind of sit back and relax and enjoy the run. I thought for sure I would be absolutely overwhelmed by playoff baseball. But I wasn't because I was in good atmospheres. And atmospheres that didn't put it squarely on me or on my teammate, on us as a unit, and that was it. I mean, I really do stick to it. You're right, you're going to be nervous. You're going to have those jitters and those butterflies that are there, like opening day. But at the same time, you know, if you're doing it as a unit, it takes that pressure off.
Holly, thank you very much. He's Todd Hollingsworth. I'm David Kaplan. Len and JD at the Cubs and the Cardinals. That's coming up next.
Cubs and Cardinals. It's going to be fun for years to come.
become this vigilante group that all of a sudden wants to get their own pound of flesh. That's absolutely insane, ridiculous, and wrong. We don't start stuff, but we will stop stuff. We will end stuff.
Sunny and beautiful here in Chicago. It's been a tremendous atmosphere all weekend at Wrigley Field. And today the Cubs go for the 3-game weekend sweep over the first place St. Louis Cardinals. Great to have you with us along with Jim DeShays. I'm Len Casper. We got a lot to chew on here and a baseball game to play. And we said it Friday, JD, if the Cubs have any shot to win this division, they probably need a sweep, and they've won the first two.
Oh, yeah, it's been impressive by the Cubs so far this weekend. Certainly still not likely that they're going to run down the Cardinals, but it is possible, and they've played very good baseball here this weekend. As we check in on the standings, the Cardinals have clinched now at least a playoff spot. The Pirates got a big win last night in L.A., so they remain a game better than the Cubs for that first wild card spot.
And the Cubs today will turn to John Lester. He has gone deep into games, maybe coming off his best start of the season. And he's put up good numbers against the Cardinals, but has only one win to show for it.
Yeah, remember, he pitched opening night against the Cardinals, did not pitch particularly well in that game, but in 3 starts after that against St. Louis, he's pitched outstanding baseball, including his last start against them 2 starts ago, when he retired 20 of the final 21 men he faced. So a .178 ERA against the Cardinals for Big John so far this year.
It'll be right-hander Carlos Martinez. He throws hard, an all-star this year, coming off one of his better outings of the season. And Mike Matheny does need some length, and they've got to figure out some things as they near the postseason. So it'll be John Lester, who started on opening night against the Cardinals here at Wrigley Field, and a hard-throwing Martinez coming up next.
Net is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. AT&T Uverse. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT, mobilizing your world. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
Beautiful day. We've had great weather here all weekend long. Cardinals and Cubs to wrap up the set. The Cubs go for the sweep and their 6th consecutive win. John Lester will get the ball today, and the Brewers will come in tomorrow night. Magic numbers down to 5. As JD mentioned earlier, the Giants with a loss yesterday not only helped the Cubs, but it helped the Cardinals clinch a playoff spot. They're the first team in baseball to guarantee themselves of extra games in October. It's their club record 5th consecutive playoff trip, and Mike Matheny is the first major league manager ever to take his first 4 teams to the playoffs.
Yeah, when he got hired to manage, that was kind of the storyline, that he was in a tough spot in that he was coming on the heels of Tony La Russa, the Hall of Famer, but he was in a good spot in that he inherited a very good ball club, and they've continued their winning ways under Matheny. He's had a great deal of success. I can feel a little stress these days. His club has not been as sharp here in the month of September. The pitching that has led the way all summer long has scuffled a little bit here down the stretch, so there has to be some concerns for Matheny, even though he's in a very comfortable position, having clinched a playoff spot already. 4-game lead over the Pirates, who had a real nice win last night. Clayton Kershaw started for the Dodgers, and the Pirates managed to win that game, so they split the Greinke Kershaw games with the Dodgers. Now they have Garrett Cole going for them this afternoon out in L.A.
Nice hand for the Cubs as they take the field. Let's check out the Cardinals Southwest starting lineup. Matt Carpenter hit a big home run in the 9th inning to get the Cardinals close. Tommy Pham is in center. Jason Hayward plays right. Johnny Peralta cleans up. He's the shortstop. It's Stephen Piscotty in left. Colton Wong, the second baseman. Yadier Molina will catch and bat 7th. Brandon Moss, big day on Friday. He had 3 hits, and Carlos Martinez, a pitcher, will bat 9th.
Cubs defensively, outfield aligned. Rustling, Schwarber, Fowler, Coughlin, left, center, right. Infield, Bryant, Russell, who made, as you know, that spectacular play yesterday. Man, that would have been a great play in spring training, but to do it when he did it to save a game, just brilliant. Tommy La Stella, Anthony Rizzo, second, first. David Ross behind the plate. Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is the big lefty, John Lester. 29 starts, 10 up, 10 down, 3.38 ERA, 3.05 ERA since the All-Star break for John. He's really been throwing the ball well lately. Got a 1.71 ERA in 3 September starts. He's got an 0.86 earned run average in his last 3 starts against the Cardinals.
Umpiring crew has had its hands full in this series. It'll be Alfonso Marquez back to the plate. Tom Hallion, the crew chief, at first. Dan Bellino, the Chicago native, at second. And Bruce Dreckman over at third. Final game of this season series. The Cardinals have clinched the series. A win today would make the Cubs 9-10 versus St. Louis this year, and possibly their first ever postseason matchup on the horizon. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, especially with the fireworks here this weekend leading into it. If that were to transpire, that would really be something. The energy in the ballpark has been just off the charts. And fun baseball.
Carpenter, who leads the Cardinals in home runs and RBIs. It was 24th of the year in the 9th inning yesterday. And a strike called. 92 on the fastball from John Lester. It's a sign from Ross, and here's a pitch, swing and a miss. 0-2.
That was good stuff right out of the bullpen. 94 past Carpenter for strike 2.
67 degrees. We've got an east wind that's blowing straight in at 8 miles an hour. Just some wispy clouds out over the lake, but a lot of blue sky. John Lester, over his last 17 starts, has gone at least 7 innings 11 times. And his ERA during this stretch, taking us back into June, 2.81. Two and two.
Yeah, certainly, John, off his game a little bit early on, but overall he's had a very good year.
Swinging and a miss, strike 3.
Carpenter a little late getting started on this cut fastball.
There's Tommy Pham, 9 hits over his last 5 games, including 3 home runs. That ball thumped to left, and it will go under the street. So Pham hits Waveland, and it's 1-0.
He came into the series really swinging the bat well. 27-year-old rookie whose career was derailed by injuries. But Cardinals, may have something here in Tommy Pham. It's your Ford home run replay. Cardinals strike early, something the Cubs have been doing quite a bit here lately.
So the Cardinals strike first. Here's Jason Hayward, 9 out of 21 with a home run off John Lester. 1 for 7 in the series. He's walked twice. Pop up over near the dugout. Bryant, and that ball, it might have hit the guy wire rather, above the dugout, deflected out of play. There it is, the guy wire.
Yeah, you can tell it's vibrating.
Yep. So 2 strikes on Hayward. Lefty to lefty. And it's off the plate outside. Cardinals are better against righties than lefties. And it was certainly not a coincidence that Joe Madden decided to start Travis Wood on the bullpen day yesterday. Over Cahill got the win in relief. He was terrific. Lester wanted that curve, didn't get it. 2-2.
Looked like that breaking ball found the inside corner. Hayward stays alive. Hayward has pretty good pop. Hits the ball the other way. More of a line drive type hitter.
Hit hard. Russell leaves his feet. Throw to first. It gets by Rizzo. Nearly another Gold Glove type play from the rookie who made that fantastic game saver yesterday.
That ball really scalded, and as he tries to plant, a back foot slips a little bit on him. Anthony usually picks that one. And yet another spectacular play by Addison Russell.
So Hayward credited with a hit, and it's Johnny Peralta. 1 for 9 in the set with a double. Pretty good lead by Hayward. He's not running, and Peralta takes a strike. 43 stolen bases by opposing teams with John Lester on the mound, the most against any pitcher. Cardinals have been one of the very aggressive teams against him this year.
Hayward has measured an aggressive lead, but not that huge lead we've seen some of their base runners take against John. That daring, daring him to throw it over kind of lead. And he's been very efficient, has Hayward, 22 out of 25 in stolen base attempts.
One ball. We'll get one. And not both, as Hayward and La Stella came together at second base.
Boy, gutsy turn here by La Stella with Hayward bearing down on him. He hangs in there and unloads. He backs off the base a little bit, try to get some protection. The throw's a little bit high. Peralta was going to beat it anyway, it looks like.
So 2 down, and it's Stephen Piscotty. He hit that ground ball. Addison Russell gobbled up to end the game on Saturday. '54th major league game for Piscotty. He's been terrific. Colton Wong on deck. Can't do it much better than this, can you?
But brought me off my couch. It was a spectacular play, especially given the situation.
Xfinity high-speed action. Even in slow motion, it looks fast. Two balls and a strike.
Yeah, and the really intriguing thing is there are a number of people in the Cubs organization that feel like Javi Baez is every bit as good as Addison Russell out there at short.
That's a strike. 2-2.
Occasionally up for show, but usually down, down, down for Lester. Cutters, curveballs, changeups, two-seam fastballs.
Huge lead by Peralta. Not running. Deep left, and it will get on out. And that's a 2-run homer for Piscotty. And it's 3-0 St. Louis on a couple of first-inning home runs.
John would love to get a mulligan and get a fresh start on this one, but he's down 3-0 here to this team that he's really handcuffed. This is their 5th look at him this year. Scotty went down and got a breaking pitch. So for the second time here in the top of the first, you get a Ford home run replay of a ball leaving the yard.
Number 5 for Piscotty. Long with an aggressive swing. Fourth time this year Lester has given up multiple home runs.
Yeah, and the other piece of what's been going on here this weekend with the hit batters and the ejections is, to a certain extent, it plants that seed in your mind as a pitcher. You know, what if I make a mistake inside and hit a guy? Am I going to get run? You know, you have to have the ability to pitch inside, or they're going to wear you out.
That is a much bigger deal for obvious reasons than for a starting pitcher. Schwarber can't make the play. It lands foul. The wind really pushing that ball toward foul territory. And Lester will have to make at least one more pitch.
Yeah, I think he was really battling the sun too. The play Kyle could have made, should have made, but Tough sky, breezy day. It just looked to me like he didn't get a real good beat on that one. Debating whether that was fair in the Cardinal dugout. Apparently they were. Took a look, decided not to challenge.
Called strike 3. That will end the inning. Couple of home runs, Pham and Piscotty. It's the Cardinals 3 and the Cubs coming up. Man gets a hit. Vinny's Beverage Depot will donate $100 to Make-A-Wish, Illinois. Cubs have scored in the first inning in 10 of their last 13 games as we look in on their Southwest starting lineup. Fowler, Schwarber, and Coghlan at the top. Rizzo, Bryant, LaStella, who's been hot here as of late and sometimes off the bench. Russell, the shortstop, bats 7th ahead of David Ross, and the pitcher John Lester will bat 9th. We've seen that a little bit more often here in the last week to 10 days. The pitcher hitting 9th. Carlos Martinez not taking much time. 2 strikes on Fowler.
Martinez just 23 years of age, having an all-star season. Stepping out on him and upset that tempo a little bit. Martinez will show you a lot of emotion out there. Also show you a lot of fastball. He's been clocked as high as 100 miles per hour.
Well, strike 3. That's quick work. With the Cubs leadoff man, 1 away.
Well, the Cardinals defensively are aligned with Piscotty in left, Pham in center. So a couple rookies there. Jason Hayward, Gold Glover in right. Carpenter, Peralta, Wong, Moss, third to first, and one of the best ever behind the plate, Yadier Molina. And Martinez is the Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher.
Kyle Schwarber, his 58th game, takes a strike. And on base average, 101 points above his batting average, slugging .533.
These Cub hitters are going to have to start asking for time. He's catching them in between as they try to get set. He's ready to go.
Oh, Molina's throw back to Martinez almost hit him in the face as he angrily snapped that glove. Molina thought it was a strike as well. 2-2. Bounced foul. Yeah, he's amped up. Martinez, you can just see it.
I guess so. Good breaking ball and a changeup to go along with that plus fastball.
Miles an hour. 3-2. Chris Coghlan next. And ball 4 as Schwarber held. This is Mark Burley-esque only in the pace, as Martinez throws a lot harder than the crafty lefty.
Yeah, and we haven't seen this from Martinez before. I've never seen him work this quickly. I think maybe just trying to set a tone, maybe a little amped up, maybe a little double espresso before the game. I'm not sure, but we'll see what he does now with a man on base if he slows it down a little bit.
Friday, Lance Lynn only went 3 1/3. He walked 6, was barking at Dan Bellino after he came out of the game. Yesterday, 16-game winner Michael Wacha went 5 innings, allowed 4 runs, and took the loss. And today, it is Martinez. Working with a 3-0 lead right off the bat.
Yeah, you get the sense that Martinez is just trying to put the Cardinals on his shoulders here and say, I got this, boys. So the way he's going about it, attacking with that fastball, and obviously he must have felt good leaving the bullpen. He's going 99 miles an hour here.
Swing and a miss for strike 3. Not needed anybody other than his catcher so far. 2 strikeouts and a walk. And a big hand for Anthony Rizzo. Those rate stats remarkably similar to what he put up last year. The key difference, the RBIs. Certainly a reason for that, hitting .310 with men in scoring position. Last year, .241. So he's got 93 RBIs. Last year, knocked in 78. And I'm sure he's had more chances, right?
Better club.
Yep.
Yeah, team scoring more runs.
He's around him on base more. Yeah, the RBI, really RBIs and runs, they are a function of opportunity. Guys around you in that lineup is Wong playing deep, and he gets Rizzo. So Martinez with a scoreless first after the Cardinals gave him 3 in support.
If you've been on social media, you've probably seen #WeAreGood. Tomorrow night, find out how it became a season-long rallying cry for players and fans alike, plus exclusive interviews with players, fans, manager Joe Madden, and yours truly. It's the Hunt for October, presented by Feldco, tomorrow night and every night this week on Sportsnet Central.
Yadier Molina shoots one into left. Aggressive turn around first. He's going to hold with a single. And with that hit, still just 7 for his last 45. As he has been slumping here recently.
Counseling session here from David Ross after John gave up 3 in the first on a couple of long ones, and Molina starts the second with a line drive base hit.
Brandon Moss, big game on Friday. 3 for 4, couple of doubles.
Moss less likely to pull a lefty like John Lester, so Rizzo holds Molina on. Otherwise, with Moss up there, I think Anthony would just shadow Molina, back off as the pitch is being delivered just to increase his range a little bit. They're playing to pull on the infield. They've got La Stella toward the hole, which makes it easier for Rizzo to stay on the bag.
Two strikes to Moss. Off the plate outside. And shifting just a little bit. A half hour ago when we started, blowing straight in. Now in from right center toward the left field foul pole. Cute on the ground. Bryant will pick it up. Lots of time to get Molina, and that's all they'll get. Very aggressive slide. Molina telling Russell, I guess, no harm, no foul. And okay. What do you think?
Well, it was late. I mean, he's on the bag, and it's definitely late, and it's real late. I mean, everybody's emotions are running high, so every little thing is going to be scrutinized here in this series.
Martinez shows bunt. There goes the runner. It is bunted foul. Interesting. Maybe somebody missed a sign or a bunt and run, but you don't see that often. Jose Oquendo now looking into his dugout. Yeah, I guess the Molina play there kind of feels like the result of it matters more than the intent, right? Because nobody got hurt. But if that had been a Jung Ho Gung situation and it had been that late a slide, that would have been a real
and that's
problem.
the thing, you know, everybody talks about whether it's a dirty play or not. Sometimes there's not dirty intent, but it's just a bad play because a guy, you know, goes down too late. He's so focused on getting a piece of the infielder.
Right.
You know, when you look at it and replay it, man, that was really late.
Yeah, I guess Molina's reaction to kind of immediately tell Russell that, hey, I hope you're all right.
Well, the good thing, he went at him real hard. He went late, but he went low.
Fortunately, Addison is all right. Bryant way in at third. Martinez takes a strike. 3 called.
This kid's got some body language. If he were on the mound and that pitch was called a ball, he'd be very upset.
Did you hear that, fan?
What did he say?
He said, "You've got the worst batting stance in the major leagues, Matty." Runner goes, Moss.
What a tag.
Tag on the back. Let's make sure Mike Matheny's not going to challenge here. As Moss is walking off the field. David Ross gets him. What a play by you-know-who. Addison Russell. Wow. Martinez to Bryant right down Main Street for a strike. Ross and Russell teaming up. And then Brandon Moss. Hate to do the cliche, if you don't like baseball, but you don't enjoy watching Addison Russell play defense, right?
Yep.
He is just.
Watch this. Catching the ball, going airborne to apply the tag.
And then did not land on his head. I mean, that could have been really ugly. The somersault. As Bryant strikes out.
He was an outstanding football player in high school, a running back. You can envision him jumping over some would-be tacklers.
Tommy LaStella.
This is Martinez's first ever start here at Wrigley Field. He has pitched here a handful of times as a reliever, but this is his first start here.
He has pitched against the Cubs 4 times this year. And the appearance in this ballpark was in relief on opening night. Cardinals 4-0. his games against the Cubs, including that relief outing. Hey, Cub fans, let's go. Best ticket availability for this final homestand of the regular season is during the next 3 games against the Milwaukee Brewers. That series starts tomorrow night. Don't miss your chance to see Cubs baseball at Wrigley Field. For tickets, visit Cubs.com today. To Russell. Line softly and caught by Carpenter for the out. 3-0 St. Louis after 2.
Wednesday, the 23rd, Cubs take on the Brewers. First pitch, 7:05. All Budweiser bleacher fans 21 and over will receive a reusable tote bag presented by Hornitos. Purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Yeah.
Mike Matheny out chatting with Tom Hallion, discussing the conditions of the dirt around first base. Apparently the Cardinal base runners have an issue. And Tom has recruited some of the grounds crew to come out and tidy things up a little bit. He's obviously feeling that there's too much water, slowing down the track a little bit.
About you, I'm still a little troubled by that Molina slide. With all the intensity of this weekend, that could have precipitated a very nasty situation.
Yeah, I could see the Cubs taking umbrage. There may be some retaliation there. Again, regardless of what Molina's intent was, so he's focused on getting a piece of Russell here. In so doing, he goes in really late. I mean, you know, very apologetic at the end of the play.
Right.
That reminds me back in the day when Oral Hershiser used to, hit a guy in the ribs, and as the pitch was nearing him, look out, and then
right. So here's
very
the
apologetic.
One. And he's trying to break up a double play. Gung himself exonerated Coghlan. Now Hayward met up there with Russell, and then Molina. I guess because of all else that's gone on this weekend, it makes you wrong.
Well, like I said,
That's
I mean,
all.
it's the intensity of the series and doing everything you can to try to upend the would-be pivot man. I don't think Molina's trying to hurt him, but he definitely went late.
Yep. Carpenter with a base hit, and he's going to try for 2. Here's the throw, and it's late.
Well, Cardinals continue to apply pressure. Leadoff single by Molina in the second. Nothing came of it. Here's a leadoff double for Carpenter now in the third. A little choppy rounding first base. He's got his eyes on the ball, and he's throwing up some mud there too.
Pham then a rocket to left, and he bunts this time foul. Hits all belonging to the Cardinals, including this one.
Ran a fastball up about belt high, and John doesn't usually make many mistakes up in the zone like that, and Pham jumped on it.
Julio Teheran had a perfect game into the 7th for Atlanta today. Freddie Galvis led off the 7th with a base hit. Braves lead the Phillies 1-0 in that ball game. Off the plate inside. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Carpenter, an aggressive base runner, but he's not really a base stealer.
Swing and a miss on a changeup for strike 3.
David Ross nodding. Yep, that's exactly where we wanted to go with that changeup. Good pitch, well executed. 4th strikeout for Lester. Gave up that 3 spot early. Carlos Martinez has been really good here in the early going, so he knows he's really got to slam the door here on these Cardinals.
Blown away. Talked a lot about Hayward and the situation in his career. He'll be a free agent for the first time after this season, and 26 years old. He will be highly coveted.
And very few players have been coming out of the market at his stage of the career. You know, probably you could consider it pre-prime for, you know, Hayward. He may not be a finished product yet.
Yeah, and he's going to have 800 plus games under his belt.
A lot of times you sign guys to a long multi-year deal, and you know at the tail end of that deal they're probably not going to be productive players. You're overpaying for the latter years to get the production in the early part of the contract. But whatever he ends up getting, it's fairly safe to assume, barring a major injury, he's still going to be in the prime of his career at the end of that next deal.
Carpenter heads over to talk to Oquendo at third. Yeah, and you cannot discount his defense. A lot of times you just look at the resume offensively, and as a corner outfielder, you may say, well, I'd like to get a few more home runs. And he is a, to borrow your terminology, plus defender.
And the home runs may come. I mean, certainly strong enough.
2-1 on him.
A lot of times guys are successful big league hitters, and then after a time going to learn how to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Lester with a long look at Carpenter before the pitch, and it misses. 3-1. Lester from Puyallup, Washington. Full count, 3-2. .6'4", 240. '30th start of the year, and at least 30 starts every year since '08.
Yeah, and I think that was a big part of it when the Cubs signed John Lester to that long-term deal. We talk about players and how productive they're going to be at the end of their contract. Always risk when you give extra years to a starting pitcher, especially one who's 31 years of age. But Lester seems like the kind of guy who's going to be able to pitch at a high level for a long time. Even if if he loses velocity, his pitchability, the command, the changeup, the cutter, all those things should play, even if he's throwing 90-91 as opposed to 93-94.
Swing and a miss. He got him on a curveball for his 5th strikeout. Peralta reached base on a fielder's choice in the first and then scored on the Piscotty home run.
Two outs. The challenge for Lester here is to, as best he can, disregard that big lead that Matt Carpenter's taking out there.
Well, there is a fan just wearing out Matt Carpenter. Talked about his ridiculous lead, his awful batting stance. So far, he's kept it clean. So
it's the running game's always in play when John's pitching. It's always an issue, but Starling Marte left early on him in Pittsburgh in his last start, and he was able to step off and then execute the throw to first base. And they got Marte in a rundown. Ross threw out Moss last inning, so things like that will help to shut the running game down a little bit.
Hitters count here. Peralta waits on a 2-0, and it's a strike. See on the pitch tracks, John got a little fortunate there. 2-1.
You know, Carpenter could have had third base by now with that big lead he's taking. Obviously, it's less valuable with 2 outs to get to third base, and he may feel like there's more value in just trying to upset John's concentration out there at second base.
Russell can't get this one, and Peralta drives in Carpenter to make it 4-0 St. Louis.
That ball very sharply hit as well. The Cardinal hitters pretty well locked in here this afternoon.
Inning. What a blast. He went down to get it.
Peralta, like so many base runners we've seen this year with John on the mound, they take that big lead. But when he picks his leg up to go home, they flinch towards first base. He's gotten a little bigger now. Yep, they got him.
So Lester throws over to Rizzo, and they're going to get Peralta as Estella tags him out. So they've got a couple of base runners nailed.
That'll clean it up.
Will also end the inning. Nice throw by John Lester. 1-3-4.
Of the Starling Marte play in the last start, and the timing couldn't be better as we get closer to the postseason for John Lester to convince everybody that he's capable of making that play. That will slow people down a good bit. He made that 3-foot putt.
Infield work by the grounds crew. David Ross, Yadier Molina was this a friendly conversation?
Yeah, and I think a couple veteran guys, and it may be that Molina wanted to talk to one of the veteran Cub leaders and make his point. Man, I'm sorry I went in late. I went in late. Perhaps that's what's going on.
There's been a lot going on in this series.
Well, the fact that David put his arm on Molina's back leads me to believe that was a friendly conversation.
Knocked down by Carpenter, and he recovers in time. Pitcher Lester.
Flanked there by Carpenter, but plenty of time with Ross running to recover and make the play.
John has 2 major league hits. They've both been this year and both against the Cardinals. Ball 1. Starts to go in St. Louis. That was off Carlos Martinez.
"23 years of age, weighs $185. His name is Martinez. He's from the Dominican Republic. You can understand why the comparisons to Pedro. Not a big guy, but a very powerful right arm.
Ground into center. Lester with 3 career hits, and again all versus the Cardinals, and 2 against Martinez.
Thought he might be taking there on 3-1. Instead, he punches that fastball right back through the middle of the diamond. Peralta pretty sure-handed, but not great range. Lester able to sneak it by him. First hit of the day for the Cubs.
Here comes Fowler. Dexter has scored a career high 95 runs. The last Cub to score 100 runs. Any guesses?
Derek Lee.
You won't get it. Teammate of Derek Lee's, Mark DeRosa, 103 runs in 2008. Arguably the best offensive season the Cubs have ever had. That 08 club. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Fastball heavy first time through the order. Martinez should start to mix in more changeups and breaking balls. That was a good changeup there to Fowler. He's not hiding his emotions, and feels like he's been getting squeezed by Marquez, and a couple of times that Martinez has had a legitimate point.
Full count, 3-2. Martinez has a birthday tomorrow. He'll turn 24. Hometown Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic. On a 3-hour drive from Santo Domingo. He walked him.
That's the thing, when you run hot and cold out there with emotion, and then you get a pitch that gets called against you and you react the way he did, there's a tendency to lose your focus, try to overthrow, and that's why young guys who are going along nicely all of a sudden will run into a big inning. And Martinez has put himself in that position here. He fell behind Lester, gave up the base hit, walks Fowler. Now he's got to deal with Schwarber with a couple of men on. Great chance for the Cubs to cut into this 4-run lead.
Foul strike on Schwarber. Deep right, but Hayward playing pretty deep out there. Makes that play relatively easy. Now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag NorthsideDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself later in the game. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Coghlan struck out in the first. Ball strike. Martinez has a sign from Molina. Over but low. See, the two strikes have been right on that outer edge. Martinez an all-star. We got on the final man ballot.
Oh my. Wow. Wow. You talk about showing up an umpire. Marquez is saying, Martinez is saying that's on me. Of course it's on you. No, this is, I mean, I think it was a good pitch, but it wasn't egregious. I've never seen a pitcher go to his knees like that. Molina in the role of peacemaker. Bruce Fleming might have gone out there and tackled him if Bruce had been behind the plate back in the day.
Well, you can speak to it. You know, umpires are human beings.
Yeah, you got to live with it. You got to, you can
Massage
either
that
fight with them
relationship.
or, should get a heater here.
Runners will go on the 3-2 pitch. He missed, ball 4.
He came with a changeup.
And it's not the pitching coach, it's the manager. This obviously will be a calm down session.
Yeah, well, two things could take place here. One, calm down. Let's get back to just going one pitch at a time. Don't worry about the umpire. And it may also be an opportunity for Matheny to voice his displeasure with Marquez. But I would think it's more just a case of trying to get Martinez's head back into the game. Big series, a lot of emotion, young, emotional guy, and here comes Marquez. This big crowd waiting for a reason to make some noise, and Anthony Rizzo can provide it.
AT&T Uverse Multiview. Rizzo. And Molina had something to say to Rizzo, and again it looked very friendly. I don't know if this is day 3, so everybody apologizes to one another, but here we go. Swinging a foul out of play.
I think Molina is maybe he went in and saw video of that late slide and realizes how late it was, and he's trying to make amends out of a sincerity. Or maybe he's hoping he doesn't get a fastball in the ribs later in the ball game, so he's trying to make amends.
If you're the Cardinals, you're obviously trying to get Martinez to calm down. If you're the Cubs, you're trying to exploit it. Make him come back into the strike zone.
To that end, they got the right guy in the box.
Yep. Again, kind of begging.
Yeah,
3-1.
Change up off the plate, and now he's in a bit of a pickle here, and he's throwing and hoping. You just compare this look to what he started the game with when he was boom, 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 just firing bullets. How aggressive will they be on 3-1 to Rizzo with the bases loaded? Everybody in the ballpark up on their feet for this third inning confrontation. Molina and all his years of experience, and the youngster Martinez out there, that's not a conversation of what do you want to do, it's here's what we're going to do.
3-1, grounded up the middle, and it's past Peralta. Simply slowed it down. 2 runs are going to score. They have had the deficit. 4-2.
That'll get the joint jumping. It all started with a John Lester one-out base hit, the first hit of the day for the Cubs. Doesn't crush it, and again, Peralta not great range. This time the hands let him down as well. That's a play he should have made. At least should have been able to glove that one. Whether he would have had a play or not, I don't know. He would have been able to prevent 1 run from scoring. As it is, 2 come home.
Chris Bryant with runners at first and third. buzz in this ballpark. Feels like October already. Swing and a miss.
It's really been swinging the bat well lately. Up over 340 in the month of September, and OPS above 1,000. There's 100 miles an hour.
It's foul. Swing and the miss. And that will end the inning as Martinez walks right to home plate.
I think he wants to apologize. Or maybe his manager told him to. A lot of apologizing going on here today.
Yeah, very contrite afternoon. Anthony Rizzo into it, trying to get his teammates fired up after the two-run single. It's 4-2.
Lead this Saturday, the 26th, Cubs Pirates, 12:05 first pitch. First 10,000 fans receive a Chris Bryant debut bobblehead presented by TransUnion. More information, Cubs.com.
Scotty was at the plate when the last Cardinal offensive inning ended on the Peralta pickoff. 4-2 ball game. Two and one. Cubs trying to come back today, and a big part of that will be Lester and whoever else we see out of the bullpen, keeping the Cardinals within striking distance. Changeup is bounced foul.
Well, we know we won't see Pedro Strop today.
No, he had the beach treatment from his teammates, as Joe basically said. He would not use them, and it's a beach day, and they had a reclining chair, beach chair, and a sandbox, the whole deal. In the clubhouse next to his locker.
Now, perhaps a little displeased with Alfonso Marquez. That fastball just off the outside corner. The challenge for these pitchers, if Marquez is going to continue to be tight, and you've got to find, a secondary pitch you can throw over the plate, because most big league hitters can handle challenge fastballs. For John, a lot of times it's the curveball. Throw that in the zone, try to get chases on the changeup away and the cutter in.
Leadoff walk.
Some days you go out there and it's easy. You make every pitch you want to make. Umpire has a little generous zone. Other days you're fighting yourself. You're fighting the umpire, and you just got to find a way to hang in there.
Outside, ball one. So Anthony Rizzo got hit a couple of times the other day. The second one appeared intentional. He was livid about it. Colton Wong was not happy at all about getting hit twice yesterday. This is out at first. Ball eventually got out of Rizzo's glove, but Tom Hallion made the out call. Third base runner nailed.
Well, that's the other thing. If you take a big lead and then take a big secondary, David Ross is going to get you. They're reviewing it in the Cardinal dugout as to whether they're going to challenge or not. And the question is, did he get him there? It appeared that he did.
And the ball got out as he was pulling it out of his glove. So that should not be an issue.
Play on.
Rizzo will go get it. Lester covers first. Wong is out, 2 away.
I said this about the Belisle hitting Rizzo the other day. If he did it on his own, I think it was a really dumb play. If he was ordered to do it, I think that was a bad decision to tell him to do it. But if he was ordered to do it, if you're going to hit a guy, I guess that's the, you throw it down around the legs. It's kind of the, I really don't want to hit this guy pitch. The most glaring example, years ago, Dale Murphy at the end of his career was playing for the Phillies, and they got into it with the Braves, and Tom Glavine had to hit Murph, and it was like he was throwing intentional walk pitches up there. And how do you hit Dale Murphy if you're pitching for the Braves?
Molina pops out to Rizzo, and the inning is over. Now John Lester goes up to Alfonso Marquez. your Cubs insider all season long here on Comcast Sportsnet, brought to you by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Visit Jeff at jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side.
Happy birthday, Tony Kwasny and London Keaton. Big Cub fans from Highland, Indiana. Happy.
Strike on La Stella. Samantha Johnston watching us in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Stella recognizing changeup early there. Didn't even flinch. That might have bought him a fastball. And he can handle velocity.
What was that again?
He can handle velocity.
Well, you nailed that one.
Well, just the way he took the changeup. When you're pitching and you see a guy not even flinch, he's like, gee, saw that out of my hand. Maybe he's sitting on changeup, so I'm going to come heater here. And Stella's smart hitter, wise to it. Plus, he's just really quick. And not only is it a plus fastball, but it's up where a lot of guys aren't going to get to it. And here comes the changeup, and he sees it all the way. Foot down, eyeballs it right into the mitt.
Two strikes to Russell. Bounce toward the hole. Throw goes to second, and they get La Stella. So Russell with the fielder's choice. David Ross hitting ahead of the pitcher who's batting ninth today, Lester. Usually about protection for certain guys in the lineup. La Stella behind Bryant, Russell behind La Stella, and then catcher pitcher to round out the lineup.
Yeah, and I think it's more protection as you want to have a dangerous bat, or at least a capable bat behind a dangerous bat, because you want somebody who can do some damage if said dangerous bat gets pitched around. Sometimes you can influence an opposing manager's strategy, late in the game as to whether he's going to intentionally walk a hitter or not. But the idea that pitchers are going to challenge dangerous hitters because there's a pretty good hitter behind him, that just doesn't fly. I don't think that it really exists. I would say if it does, it does so in just a little bit.
Well, yeah, I think if one example right now would be Joey Votto. There's nobody probably in the league right now, let alone on the Cincinnati Reds, that would make you want to actually throw him something to hit because you're afraid of the next guy more than you're afraid of Votto doing damage. Bryce Harper would
you can't protect
Miguel Cabrera.
Yeah. Well, we've seen it all year long. Whether Rizzo with Bryant behind him, you don't see people aren't throwing Anthony cookies because Chris is behind him. Is
popped up. And it's Wong to make the catch in shallow right. So in this game of yeah, but we seem to say that a lot in baseball. John Lester and David Ross have handled the Cardinal running game. 3 guys have been thrown out, but the Cubs are down 4-2. So when it comes down to it, John Lester's success or failure on the mound is not 100% linked to the running game.
No.
When he's been good, he hasn't given up a lot of base runners.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a factor. It's been in play, but it hasn't been all that influential. I think the bigger concern was if you got into a postseason game and had the right mix. We've seen 1 or 2 games this year where teams have really exploited it. The Milwaukee game a few starts back comes to mind. But the fact that he's made these throws recently, I mean, that's, you can no longer write the advance report that says John Lester will not or cannot make an accurate throw to first base.
Well, to take it to the extreme, the Cubs certainly have a lot of time to come back in this game. Would it be worth a quote bad start if he could get through these throwing issues like he may have today? Is that worth it in the big picture? And the answer may be yes.
Well, it'd be one of the, if you don't come back, it would be a positive takeaway, at least from this game.
Right. Chop toward first. Fair ball as Moss did a good job to keep it fair, and that will end the inning. We go to the 5th. It's St. Louis 4 and the Cubs 2. Jonathan Taves lead the defending champs onto the ice. It's a preseason battle with the Detroit Red Wings starting Wednesday night at 6:30 on CSN Plus.
Didn't they just end?
feels like the season and the Stanley Cup was just won. Yeah. Very short off season when you win. By the way, I love the read that we get. And it's done for our benefit. Jonathan Taves is spelled on the sheet T-A-Y-V-Z. Phonetically. Lester can't get it. Russell does on the other side of second, and he gets Moss. I think you and I both will be able to.
Yeah, but it's thoughtful to
Taves without that, but I appreciate the effort. He's going above and beyond.
Good old Toeies.
Yeah, I feel bad sometimes for news anchors who are not sports fans, and you'll get the today Commissioner Bud Selig.
Yeah.
Green Bay Packers quarterback Brett Favre has retired.
I had my old teammate Alan Ashby, who's now doing Astros television. When he first got out of baseball, he was doing local news in Houston for a while.
He got on the ground, backhanded. Listella.
He didn't do anything like that to butcher names that people know, but trying to get through like the tennis scores, like from Wimbledon and stuff, with some of those Russian names, man, that'd eat you up.
Carpenter 1 for 2 with a double and a run. His biggest fan is back. It's number 77 for Lester, in and out of the glove of Ross. A foul strike.
Can you make a case that Mike Matheny has misused Carpenter by having him in the top of the batting order? With the production he has brought to the table this year?
That's a good question. There aren't too many guys who hit first or second, and that's essentially where Carpenter's hit all year, who would lead their team in homers and RBIs.
And with Adams and Holiday missing as much time as they had,
I guess here's why I would say he's justified. He leads in terms of this lineup and on base percentage, 362. Piscotty's there as well. But, yeah, you could make a case for moving him down. How about flip-flopping Carpenter and Hayward?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I think he knows his club, and there is the argument that the best hitter, if you're hitting leadoff, he gets the most plate appearances. And I really wouldn't think in those terms without the injuries to Holiday and Adams, but the fact that those two bats have been missing for such a large portion of the season, I'm sure he thought about it.
Broken bat on that foul ball. Lester now into his motion. Old foul.
Might have cracked that bat as well.
He did. At the handle this time.
Good thing they're going home.
Good thing he's a Carpenter. We'll make a new one. have to give the bat boy an extra tip just for this at bat.
Hayward has had 60 more at bats with men on than Carpenter. Peralta, Hayward, Molina, and Wong have all had more at bats than Carpenter with men on base.
Stella will get Carpenter. And the good news for Matt is that he didn't break that bat. They go down 1-2-3.
It's a great time to plan for your 2016 Cubs spring training experience at beautiful Sloan Park. Go to Cubs.com/Mesa to place a deposit on season tickets and secure the best seats available. Individual spring training tickets will go on sale in January, so be sure to check back. Visit Cubs.com/Mesa, and there you will find the latest updates.
Cubs 5-game win streak on the line, trailing 4-2. First pitch change up outside on Dexter Fowler. Moss right at the bags, got it.
Normally you talk about third time through, chance to do some damage. Martinez is actually one of those guys who's gotten better and better as the game goes along. Third time hitters see him in a game, they're hitting only .209 against him.
Tyler Lyons up in the Cardinal pen. Seth Main is stretching behind that bullpen mound. Schwarber high in the air to left. Piscotty back, starting to run out of room. He's got it right up against the vines. And Schwarber just missed one.
Schwarber last two times up hit the ball hard sharply to right field last time. This time a bid for a home run comes up just a little bit short.
It's a nice play by a guy not used to playing in this ballpark. That ball was very close to hitting the basket. 2 outs. Coghlan, strike 1.
So my imagination there is Martinez really limiting his leg kick here in this inning.
Almost a quick pitch. A little bit more of a leg kick that time. Martinez seems to be going back to the first inning mode of get it, throw it.
Yeah, the approach similar. The stuff-wise different though. He's throwing more breaking balls and change-ups.
Swing and a miss.
And then the heater.
97 to get him. Second time he's sent the Cubs down 1-2-3. 4-2 Cardinals after 5. Fun weekend. More fun to this point for the Cubs, who've won the first 2, although the Cardinals yesterday, with the Giants' loss, clinched a playoff spot, and they still have a fairly comfortable lead in the division. 4 games over the Pirates, as the regular season will end 2 weeks from today. Side on a curve. So Cardinals, Pirates, Cubs, those are the best 3 teams by record in all of baseball. And all 3 teams could clinch by the middle of this coming week in terms of just knowing they're in the playoffs. Two and 2.
Yeah, so if they finish 1, 2, 3 in the best in baseball, one of them will be out in the wild card game. Somebody else will be out in the division series, and there's going to be a lot of clamor for a change to the postseason schedule. Reshuffling of the decks, perhaps a reseeding based on overall record.
Yeah, for now, it looks like Mets and Dodgers, the most likely division winners, will kick their feet up and watch 2 teams out of the NL Central go at it in the wild card round. As you stated a couple of weeks ago, this division will eat its young?
Cannibalize itself.
Cannibalize itself before we get to the NLCS. Only one of those 3 teams will get that far. And Lester both wanted it. John already had a conversation with Alfonso Marquez earlier today.
Yeah, there's a pitch last inning very similar to that one. This one was on the corner according to our pitch tracks. The one last inning was just a little bit off, and John went in and talked to Marquez at the end of the inning and just wanted to get some clarification, I guess. And it's a cordial conversation. He thanked Alfonso as he was walking away. Marquez has just been tight. It has not been a pitcher's zone back there today.
Lead by Pham. Not going. Outside to Hayward.
Calling Ross out, and I think he wants David to deliver a message to Marquez for him. And this goes back to what I was talking about earlier. When you're not getting those borderline calls on the fastball, you have to be willing to get more of the plate with something, and probably other than a heater, because that's what, hitters like middle of the plate fastball. So you can throw the curveball over a bigger part of the plate early in the count when the hitter's sitting on fastball. Maybe you can get that hitter into swing mode a little bit. Again, a frustrating day for both these pitchers with the home plate umpire. And Lester is obviously very frustrated here. And again, it's not like he's calling pitches over the heart of the plate balls. They're borderline pitches. A big chunk of home plate with that one.
Three and two on Hayward.
It's hard work on a day like today. When you give up 3 in the first, you feel like you're playing with a short stack the rest of the afternoon. Lester's done a nice job. He allowed the run in the third. He's kept his team in the game.
Runner goes and Hayward fouls. Meanwhile, in Detroit, the Royals are beating up on the Tigers 10-3 as they go to the top of the ninth. Kendrys Morales, a designated hitter for the Royals, is 4 for 4 with a walk, 3 home runs, a triple, 5 runs scored, and a club record 15 total bases.
That's a pretty good day.
It's a really good day.
Pretty good chance his day is going to end with either some Gatorade poured over his head or shaving cream mashed into his face.
That doesn't sound so fun.
Well, I was just looking for a pitch to drive. Got him with a breaking ball in the third.
And goes again, and another foul.
We're a little late on that fastball because of the previous breaking pitch last time up. He waved at a breaking ball off the outside part of the plate for strike 3. Doesn't want to see that happen again, so he's trying to stay back, see the ball a little longer. He'll make you tardy on the fastball, and it will lead to some foul balls.
Strike 3. Pham will get second and a steal, but Hayward is out. Tommy Hunter is up in the Cubs pen. Pham with his second steal of the season. Here's Peralta. He drove in a run in the third. Ball 1.
Carpenter was out there at second base in the third inning, taking a very big lead with 2 outs, and figured he wasn't going to go anywhere with 2 outs. Pham might be more inclined to run here with just 1 out. Stella playing Peralta to pull on the infield, so he's fairly close to second base, hoping to tighten Pham up a little bit.
Miss on a changeup. Former Cub Rich Hill with the Red Sox beat Mark Burley and the Blue Jays up in Toronto today 4-3. Hill got the start with 7 innings, gave up 3 runs. He struck out 10. No walks. It's back-to-back 10 strikeout starts for Hill, who's back in the big leagues.
Back in a big way.
Peralta strikes out on a pitch in the dirt. Number 7 for Lester. Here's Piscotty, who's hit a 2-run homer. He's walked, was picked off, and did that nice defensive play earlier. No changeup.
Got a base open, got a left-handed hitting Colton Wong on deck.
Cubs' next opponent, the Brewers. They've got a 5-4 lead, just scored 5 in the 5th. Reds came back with 2 in the 6th. Milwaukee trying to snap an 8-game skid. Brewers are in last. Not sure what Ryan Braun's availability will be this upcoming series. He's got some back issues. Jonathan Lucroy dealing with a concussion. Did you see the collision between Shane Peterson and Elian Herrera?
I did not.
Herrera was carted off. He's got a deep thigh bruise. So battling some injuries. Chris Bosio out to talk it over here. 2 outs.
And it was interesting as Bosio was making his way to the mound. Jose Akendo was coming in from the third base coach's box to talk with his young rookie hitter Piscotty, and they kind of almost collided there. And Jose, Chris, how you doing? Are you going to pitch around my guy? I'm not telling you. Looks like a pitch around the way David is set up, well off the outside part of the plate. Pitching around a guy, basically you approach the at-bat as if it's 0-2. And you're throwing a series of pitches that you're hoping the guy will chase.
Ball 4.
Mark that as the unintentional intentional on your scorecard.
Is that a U-I-W? U-I-B-B?
And really, I think that was essentially an intentional walk, but I don't think John's probably comfortable with the intentional walk, with the mechanics of the intentional walk. Just go ahead and stay out of the stretch of your normal delivery and just throw 4 wide ones.
Sends a pop fly out of the shallow center, and it'll be Dexter Fowler to make the running grab, and that will end the inning. They strand a couple. It's 4-2 Cardinals in the 6th. Meet your favorite Cub players and alumni at the 2016 Cubs Convention. It'll happen January 15th through the 17th at the Sheraton Chicago Hotel and Towers. Hotel packages and weekend passes are on sale now. Visit Cubs.com/convention to get your passes before they sell out. Anthony Rizzo looks at a strike, 2-run single to get the Cubs on the board in the 3rd. There's 95 knocked in, tying in with Chris Bryant. The last Cub to drive in 100, Alfonso Soriano, 108 RBIs in 2012. 1-2. Tsuyoshi Wada is now getting ready in the Cubs bullpen. We saw Hunter earlier. And then play that ball on the dirt from the outfield grass. One out here in the Cubs sixth, and it's Bryant who's had some trouble with Martinez today. 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. The back-to-back homers yesterday, 2 rookies, Soler and then Bryant. Elias says that's the first Cubs rookie duo to hit consecutive home runs since 1954 in a game at Crosley Field in Cincinnati. Ernie Banks and Gene Baker went back-to-back.
If ever there were a year you're going to have rookies go back-to-back, this would be it. Back-to-back to back-to-back with this group.
Short right, Hayward way deep, and he'll make the catch on the slide. And he's pumped up. I've referenced this a couple of times. I think he plays a pretty deep right field, at least here. That was a long run to get it.
Yeah. Show of emotion at the end of the play.
Two outs, it's Listella.
That's the thing about Hayward. He has such good range. It allows Pham, the center fielder, and I've been watching, especially with the left-handed hitters. Pham plays a little towards left center, so there's a bigger gap typically in right center. But so Hayward plays a little bit deeper, allows him to cut that ball off. And his range and speed allow Pham to cheat a little bit towards the gap in left center. Plus Hayward being a left-handed thrower, his gloves on that side, and Pham, a right-handed thrower, his gloves on that side too. So it buys them basically a step in each direction.
Willie Peralta and Jason Hamill tomorrow night here on CSN, 7 o'clock. Brewers and Cubs. Jake Arrieta will get the ball on the CSN Plus Tuesday night. Kyle Hendricks Wednesday against right-hander Zach Davies. Milwaukee has not announced its Tuesday starter just yet.
Because nobody wants to have to pitch against Arrieta.
Right.
That's okay, Skip. Let him have it.
Moss will take it unassisted. Carlos Martinez with a 4-2 lead as we go to the 7th inning. in 1968. Is it true you lost 20 pounds and had to wear some suspenders?
That is true. I had to wear suspenders to keep my pants up when we would travel, and you know, people ask me about it today, and I think, well, shucks, I wanted to play every game I possibly could, and I guess my son Todd finally convinced me after a period of time that that was too much to do.
I can't even fathom that, playing 160 games. Here's Tommy Hunter against Yadier Molina, who had missed a couple of starts earlier this week because his manager thought he was gassed. As you see the numbers for Hunter. I want to ask you about the day games at home and then trying to get your sleep, I guess, on the road. Did you guys play basically all your games about 1:30 at home?
Yeah, every day, 1:30 the game would start. And I don't care how hot or cool or whatever it was a tough day.
Was there any advantage to somewhat of a consistent schedule that you knew what the game time would be? The Cubs this year, they've had 1:20s, noons, 3:05s, occasional 6:15 on a Saturday night for national TV. I mean, as you know, baseball players are very routine oriented.
Yes, and it would be very difficult for me to keep up with it. I'd be late or miss something in the ball.
Molina grounds out. I'm sure you know the guy about 15 feet to my left, Tim McCarver, in the house with Dan McLaughlin on Cardinal television. You got any good Cubs Cardinals late 60s stories for us?
Well,
anything tense like this weekend?
Yeah, I could tell you, but it wouldn't go right on TV.
I gotcha. Okay. Maybe the family version of it.
Well, Tim, of course, was a wonderful catcher for the Cardinals and very competitive. And I love playing against the St. Louis Cardinals. I remember one day, Santa was playing third, ground ball hit to him. He bobbles the ball a little bit, throws the ball wide to first base, and it was the first time that I realized that he was a diabetic, because everybody's arguing at first, and Santa has to go to the bench to get some candy to get some of the energy back in him in order to finish the inning, and it was an interesting time.
2 strikes on Brandon Moss. Not when you think about Ronnie every day. And Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks. We lost Ernie in January. Cubs spending the season honoring Mr. Cub.
I certainly miss both of them. They were great friends, and great teammates. And I wish we still had them around.
Both would have really enjoyed this season.
Yes. Can you imagine Santa? He was here this year.
Well, one question too, Randy. Could he have gotten through the last 4 or 5 to get to this season? But you're right. This season he would.
No, I don't think he could have. But I would have liked to have seen what he would be like.
Yeah, you're right. A couple of moments with Ronnie. There's a 1-2. You know, it would be a September 15th game against maybe the Cardinals, and Cubs would have been 15 games under 500, probably already eliminated from the race, and he treated it like it was game 6 of the NLCS. The Cubs didn't win. It didn't matter where they were in the standings. Look out. The bat ended up in right field as Moss fouled it off the other way.
I don't think I've ever seen a bat go that far.
Yeah, that was I've seen guys, the bat fly out of their hand, just slip out of their hand and go that far, but a broken bat, it's pretty rare.
Watch this.
Boy, that's what you call getting sawed off.
Shallow right center. It's Coughlin.
Didn't get much of that one either.
We should mention your fantasy baseball camp set for the final week of January down in Mesa.
Yes, we're still doing it 32 years after we started.
Fantastic.
It's amazing that we have been able to do the camps this long. And needless to say, I'm very proud of that fact.
JD, I think I might do it this year.
You going to do fantasy camp?
Yeah.
I'm going to try to do it. Yeah, I want to do it.
You need to do that, Landon. You need to bring a cameraman with you.
Oh, yeah, maybe I will. All right, ready to sing. Here we go, Randy Hundley. 7th inning stretch time from Wrigley Field.
Today's guest conductor for Take Me Up to the Ball Game, former Cub Randy Hundley.
Hey, I need some help. Here we go. A 1, a 2, a 3. Me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, for it's root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame, for it's one. We're out at the old ball game. Let's get some runs.
Addison Russell pops it up. Matt Carpenter makes the catch. Hey, Cub fans, let's go. Don't miss your chance to catch the best matchups in baseball. Reserve your place in line for history in the making by joining the season ticket holder waiting list. It's easy and free to register. For details, visit Cubs.com/waiting list. Gil Montero for David Ross.
Martinez has settled in nicely now. He's retired 10 in a row. Got out of sync there in that 3rd inning. Very emotional, second guessing the home plate umpire. Cubs put some pressure, put 2 runs across on him. He's able to settle in now and take this thing into the 7th. He's nearing 100 pitches. There's action in the Cardinal bullpen.
Fastball pumped in there for a strike. Oh, 2. The pinch hitter who will stay in the catch.
Line on John Lester today: 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He walked 3, struck out 7. Got hurt by a couple of first inning home runs.
that one by Montero. His 6th strikeout. $11 in a row now retired by Martinez. Is Starlin Castro. It's a nice hand. He'll bat for Hunter. Two days ago, I have to say his best day as a Chicago Cub, considering the importance of that win. 6 RBIs, tying his career high. Got a curtain call. There's a go-ahead shot off Manus. And then a 3-run home run. Bounce to third. Carpenter lets it go, and it goes foul. Call made down there by Bruce Dreckman. Non-reviewable.
Did he let that go, or did he just misplay it? Because I thought if he gloves it, he's got to play it, right?
I don't think he touched it.
No, and he opted not to. But I think the play was to go ahead and grab it and make a throw. I think he's going to throw Starlin out. Yeah. Boy, and that's flip a coin, right, as to whether this is fair or foul. Bounces fair in front of the bag and lands just foul. Seems like it would have had to pass over the corner of the base.
Castro claiming he got hit. Tez says no. Oh, it did hit him. It did. And Joe, I think, is going to challenge. He wants a second. And if they review it, that's a hit by pitch. And I think they will. It absolutely hit him. This should take one look. Watch. Yep. Let's see it slightly redirect.
Series where the hit by pitch has been such a big part of it, and it could be a very important play in this ball game as well.
Forsythe Technology replay review. Come on, let's set a record, guys. Let's go about a 6-second review. Too late.
And those home runs by Castro the big day the other day, not an isolated event. He's been on a roll here for a good while. Batting .405 in September with 4 home runs.
To me, this is a first look review, because as you continue to look at it, it gets a little fuzzier. It hit him. First shot of it, it was obvious. Finally, we'll get our call. Yep. So another hit batter in this series. That was on a breaking ball. It's Dexter Fowler with 2 outs and a man on.
Really falling wildly off to the first base side there. 96 with sink. Fowler getting his 4th look at Martinez. He might be setting a record for mound conversations in this game. Both sides.
Holiday got hit. That seemed to start all the stuff in this series. Clearly unintentional by Heron. Matt Belisle flips the back pant leg of Anthony Rizzo. Yesterday, Colton Wong got hit twice. This one drew warnings for both teams. And Fernando Rodney and then Rondon. This really put the Cubs in a bind with their bullpen. They eventually got out of it as Addison Russell saved the day.
Yeah, Addison Russell was the closer yesterday.
Yeah, right.
He made the game-saving play.
One and one. Tying run at the plate. Pulled into right. Base hit. Castro to third. That'll be it for Martinez. And the change has been made. Schwarber due. Kevin Sechrist on when we come back. This year, this will be his 74th appearance.
Well, he's been in the right place at the right time. He's picked up 7 wins along the way. He's pitched to a 2.14 ERA. You notice the splits down there. The opponent batting average against a 2.03. He's far better against right-handers. He's got a very good changeup. Uses to neutralize righties. He throws hard. He's got the mid-90s fastball, breaking pitch, and a changeup. So he's not the kind of guy where you're going to flip your left-handed hitters, get them out of there for righties, especially when they're the likes of Schwarber, Coghlan, and Rizzo. We'll see what Joe does if Schwarber reaches here. A lot of times he'll go to the righty with Coghlan, but against Sechrist, maybe not.
Runners at first and third. Here's a pitch to Schwarber. Off the outside edge. Castro at third, Fowler at first.
Schwarber just missed a home run to left last time up.
Ready for a 1-1. And again.
Pretty firm here, 97 miles an hour with that fastball. Cardinals in no doubles defense in the outfield, very deep.
Hold on the ground. It's Wong to Moss, and that will get the Cardinals out of the inning. Cubs strand 2. We go to the 8th. 4-2 St. Louis. Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag Northside Data Strong Fan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming telecast brought to you by T-Mobile. It's like those Cub fans got down on the field before batting practice. And we want to welcome all our viewers watching on ITV3 in Peoria, Illinois. Montero stays in to catch. Castro will play second. We'll move LaStella over to third. And Chris Bryant will go to center. So in the musical chairs, Dexter Fowler is done for the day.
He didn't find a chair.
Right. Neil Ramirez will go into his spot.
He found a chair in the dugout. Tommy Hunter, 1 scoreless, 3 up, 3 down. And now Neil on for just the 15th time. He has battle injury. He has pitched to a 2.79 ERA. Came out of mothballs there to finish off the game on Friday.
The hit, struck out 2 after the final 3 outs. 1-1 to Carpenter. You see home plate completely in the shade. It's late September afternoon. Slicing fly ball. Foul ground. Schwarber.
Ooh, look
oh,
out.
man. A face plant there over the back of the bullpen mound, and he's very fortunate he didn't go right into the wall.
It's always a challenge trying to run down those foul flies and having to deal with the bullpen mounds. Get into the holiday spirit a little early and support Cubs charities by being part of our holiday tradition. Purchase your limited edition Chicago Cubs home and away Christopher Radko glass ornament. Ornaments are $60. All proceeds will benefit Cubs charities. Visit Cubs.com/ornament for more information. The bullpens will be moved under the bleachers in 2 years.
Carl Edwards Jr. up in the home bullpen.
Corner outfielders all around the National League will rejoice.
Yep. It's full, 3-2.
Most hitters will tell you it's a little disconcerting when that ball passes from right sun into shadow. I've talked to other guys who say, it doesn't bother me at all.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Pirates and Dodgers 1-1, bottom of the second in Los Angeles. Garrett Cole and Mike Bolsinger. A matchup at Dodger Stadium. Nationals club the Marlins 13-3 in D.C. It's a final. Strasburg over Nicolino. 10 strikeouts for Steven Strasburg today.
He's been on a little bit of a roll here lately.
Bryce Harper went 3 for 4. He's hitting .343. Yunel Escobar went 4 for 4. And knocked in 4. Pham fouls. Go ahead homer in the first inning. 2 batters in. It was off John Lester. Diamondbacks and Giants are scoreless as they play the 4th at AT&T. Jeremy Hellickson, Tim Hudson.
It's the third consecutive game for Strasburg in which he has punched out at least 10, becoming the second in franchise history to do that. Pedro Martinez being the other. Back when they were the Expos, of course.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. The breaking ball's been good. A strikeout pitch for Ramirez here against Carpenter and Pham. And it's Hayward. Angels swept the Twins yesterday in a doubleheader. Minnesota leading late 6-0 in the bottom of the 8th today. A couple of wild card contenders matching up in Minneapolis. Astros won. Rangers are down big at home against Texas. If that score holds up, the Astros will be within a game and a half of the Rangers in the American League West. A couple of hops to Castro. Just into the game on defense, and Neil Ramirez goes 1-2-3. Cubs bat in the 8th, trailing by 2.
Life, a fan favorite from the Illinois Lottery, is back. Stop by your nearest Illinois Lottery retailer and play today. You could win up to $5,000 a week for the rest of your life. Cash for life. The longer you live, the more you get.
Talked about shadows before. Not only that, but on occasion, birds flying through. Difficult enough.
Good catch.
Segrist against Coughlin. Comebacker up the middle and a base hit, and that'll bring the tying run to the plate. Joe sticking with his lefties here. Schwarber, Coughlin, and that'll bring up Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah, well, he's so good with that changeup against righties, and it's not that he's easy for left-handed hitters, but in some ways you take away a dangerous pitch or a very effective pitch from him. Most lefties don't like to throw that changeup to left-handed hitters for fear that it'll drift into their swing and end up in the seats.
Strike called to Rizzo.
2 out of 14 career against Segrist. Mentioned this the other day, and as of Friday, Anthony Rizzo led baseball in a very esoteric statistic called the win probability added, an offensive stat that measures the value, not only the value of a player, but when he gets hit, delivering in the clutch, big hits, go-ahead home runs, things of that nature. This would qualify as a clutch situation for sure.
Four home runs so far this month. Last one was a go-ahead shot in Pittsburgh off Charlie Morton. Full count. .49-62. Hacked inside Wrigley Field. 3-2 on the way. Ball four. 2 on, nobody out. For Chris Bryant.
You talk about controlling the moment, boy. That's such an anxious situation for a hitter. Rizzo spit on a couple of fastballs, took his walk, and Mike Matheny's going to go to the bullpen.
Got two right-handers up. Looks like he wants Broxton. I think that's the closer, Trevor Rosenthal. Yeah, it is the other guy. So we might see him at some point here in the 8th inning. For now, it's Broxton, and we'll be right back. Hitter.
Yeah, Cubs making some noise here. Now they'll deal with the veteran right-hander Jonathan Broxton, who has pitched to a .485 ERA this year. He's allowed 7 home runs in 55 2/3 innings of work. Pitched an inning yesterday, allowed a couple of hits and a run. Chris Bryant has done a lot of damage in this ballpark. Far better at home than on the road.
If he gets a hold of one here, this place will be completely up for grabs. Coughlin at second, Rizzo at first. Here's a pitch. It's high. Ball one.
Yeah, well, we saw the patience by Rizzo, and that's the key for Chris here. Don't let the moment get to you.
Going to the back of the bleachers of Michael Wacha yesterday. It was 25th.
Of his 25 coming here at Wrigley.
Well, Stella on deck.
Pretty much fastballs and sliders from Broxton. Might have expanded there. It did. Went out of the zone. He's got to go to work here with 2 strikes.
It's Manus and Rosenthal in the Cardinal bullpen. Matheny's probably going to pull out all the stops, leading this game at 1.4-0 as they try to avoid the sweep. 1-2 to Bryant. Takes the slider. Outfielders all playing pretty deep. 3-2.
This is good theater.
In some ways, Chris kind of made Broxton do this by, as you said, going out of his zone earlier, but he doesn't do it a lot. The 3-2. Ball 4.
I wanted no part of him. At the end of the day, did not want a challenge, and it just falls on the hitter to go ahead and accept that walk. Rizzo did it. Bryant does it. You just keep the line moving.
2 walks in the inning. Stella coming up. Bases loaded. Nobody out.
And it's interesting to have Rosenthal hot and ready to go and not use him here could really backfire on Matheny, even if he didn't use him in the 9th, right? Just to to try to get out of this mess.
At this point, you wonder what is he saving him for? He may not have a save chance. Outside, ball 1. 2-0.
It's a tough matchup for Broxton because he's trying to work out of the zone, and all 3 of these cats, Rizzo, Bryant, and LaStella, are patient hitters.
Manus is the ground ball guy. Rosenthal, the fireball and closer. You're just getting to a point, JD, if you're the Cardinals or Broxton, he's got to challenge him at some point. Or
yeah, and a lot of I don't know if that was the message that Matheny said. Look, let's just go ahead and throw it in there. If he hits one off the wall, it's on me. But I'm getting a little antsy over here watching you work out of the zone. And normally Broxton has pretty good command of that slider. And it's a situation where you like to just a little baby slider on 2-0 and try to settle it into the zone.
Outside, ball 3.
Clearly he doesn't trust the fastball right now.
3-1.
Easier to find that zone when you know highly unlikely the hitter's going to be swinging.
Ball 4. A one-run ball game. Here comes Coughlin as LaStella will get an RBI. 3 consecutive walks. That's it for Broxton. It's going to be Manus. Bottom of the 8th, 1-run lead for the Cardinals, but they are hanging on by their fingernails. We'll be back. He is a ground ball pitcher. He's got his closer, Rosenthal. He's been getting loose here since this inning started. Still in the bullpen. And the Cubs have the bases loaded and a run in.
Manus, ground ball specialist, sinker, slider, changeup. Cubs got to him for 3, including the long home run by Castro on Friday. Cardinals are playing for 2.
Way outside and low. Russell's glove did the trick in the 9th inning yesterday. Now he's trying to do it with the bat in the 8th today. Fly ball out into right center. Rizzo ready to tag. Hayward makes the catch. Here comes the throw, and they're going to get him. Oh, what a throw by Jason Hayward. That is a double play, and Yadier Molina may have gotten spiked as he applied the tag on Rizzo.
Wow.
What a throw. Well, 2 outs.
Unbelievable play. You know, certainly there's risk with a send here, medium, deep fly ball, relatively shallow fly ball. You know, applying the tag, and immediately you could tell that he was in some fair bit of pain there. A perfect one-hop throw home.
You didn't get spiked. It looked like it might have been a hyperextension. Is that what you're seeing?
I thought maybe thumb or jammed wrist.
Okay.
On the tag.
Very tough to see because of the shadows there. Okay, here's a better look. Right.
No,
Yeah. Awkward.
Obviously, in hindsight, you'd say, well, don't send him there. The catch is only the first out. I think if the catch is the second out, it's clearly the play is to send him.
That will be it for Manus. So how about that? He's the ground ball guy, and he gets the fly ball. Double play. And the closer, Rosenthal, will try to get the final out here in the 8th. Double switch time. He comes in with Peter Borges. And we'll be back once again. Trying to keep the lead here in the 8th.
Yeah, Rosenthal having another big year. 45 out of 47 in save opportunities, a 154 ERA. Big strikeout numbers. He's allowed just 1 home run all year and 64 in the 3rd innings.
Trails Mark Melanson for the Major League lead. Melanson has 47 saves. And it looks like Mike Matheny wants him to get the final 4 outs. So Bryant did end up tagging on that throw to the plate. He's at 3rd. Stella's at 1st. Ball 1.
Man, 100 miles an hour. It's all with electric stuff. He's got an outstanding changeup as well.
Swing and a miss. One ball, 2 strikes. And it was Addison Russell's defense that saved the game for the Cubs yesterday. Maybe Jason Hayward's glove and arm in the sliding grab earlier. And he just gunned down Anthony Rizzo at the plate. Two and 2.
Hayward carried a lot of speed into that catch too, and a lot of times that'll lead to an errant throw. He was right on the money.
Three and two. Castro on deck. Cubs have already taken 3 walks this inning. And the Cardinals get out of it. They give up 1, but they maintain the lead. 4-3 to the 9th. The postseason is with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcasts, and more. Get MLB.com at bat now. Matheny chatting with Yadier Molina, who was able to stay in the game after that hand or thumb injury. Hector Rondon is in. I guess the only good news about his ejection yesterday is made him available today. Swing and a miss by Peralta, 0-2.
Sliders here from Rondon against Peralta. He's a pretty good fastball hitter. Of course, Rondon has a fastball that's a fair bit better than pretty good. He's reached 100 miles an hour with his heater this year as well. Castro will lead it off at the bottom of the inning, and then a pinch hitter, and then Kyle Schwarber.
2-2 slider hit on the ground, knocked down by Listella. The throw, and Peralta's safe. Rizzo thinks they got him. There's Anthony on the bag. Yeah. Rizzo not very emphatic, but he looked at the dugout and gave the signal, you guys want to look at this one. Throw beat him. Joe will challenge.
Peralta covering his head. Maybe cost himself half a step. Ooh, hard to tell there. He may have drifted off the base just a little bit. Good footwork, though. Across the line, you got the base runner there to contend with.
Right now, it is an error on Listella. But they are looking at the Foresight Technology replay review. Had one overturned earlier on the pitch inside to Castro. It ended up being a hit by pitch. Cubs maintained their challenge. Those headphones kill me. They look like they're from 1978.
You just can't tell if the ball's in the mid, if Anthony's still on the base or not.
Well, right there it looks like it is, but the angle of the shot, it's tough to tell where the foot is.
Yeah, unless you got one coming right down the line.
Yeah. Sure, those are very expensive cans, but
it looks like they should be guiding airplanes into the gate or something.
Yeah, exactly. Well, designed to keep the extraneous noise out of their head. Princess Leia look. Time Hector Rondon taking some warm-up tosses just to stay loose.
This would definitely be a 10-point question on our video game. You make the call.
Guessing the call will stand. And that is the call. Call stands. Peralta's on, and here's Piscotty. Ball strike, 1-2. Big day for Piscotty with the 2-run homer and 2 walks. He was picked off, however, by David Ross in the 4th. So Montero wants a slider here. Pitch.
A little cement mixer backed up and jammed him a little bit.
Night game tonight, Yankees and Mets from Citi Field. Yanks won yesterday. 2-2. Milwaukee snapped its 8-game losing streak with an 8-4 win over the Reds. And we will see the Brewers tomorrow night. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on the fastball.
Cardinals will return to St. Louis for a 3-game series with the Reds and then a 4-game set with Milwaukee before heading out to finish their season in Pittsburgh and Atlanta.
So you would say they have a pretty favorable schedule the final 2 weeks. On Colton Wong. Lester, Hunter, Ramirez, Rondon for the Cubs. Schwarber has it as he leapt and then had to leave his feet, and he fell down and made the catch. Nicely done. Tripped over the mound earlier, but that's a good makeup play.
Heck yeah. Not a lot of room to operate down there in the corner. Goes airborne into the wall, hangs on. Well done.
Goes Bosio to the mound. It gives us an opportunity to look at the Cubs Elgin Toyota upcoming schedule. So that is what is left after today.
And well, Cub fans could find themselves in that awkward position again of pulling for the Cardinals of that series that St. Louis has against Pittsburgh the final week of the season. So the thumb, wrist, hand, whatever, obviously barking on Molina because he's coming out of this game.
Matt Adams will bat for him. You're right. He would not come out for a pinch hitter unless he was injured. So 2 outs. Peralta still at first. Outside corner strike. Adams missing over 90 games with a right quad strain that required surgery in late May. Recently back from the DL. 1-1.
This is another guy that I expect is going to become more of a home run hitter as his career goes along. Has more of a line drive stroke right now. He's got a quick bat.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Rondon with a scoreless ninth. Cubs need 1 to tie, 2 to win when we come back. Four, 3 Cardinals. Nobody's left.
No, why would they? This has been great stuff here all weekend long, and obviously a big opportunity went by the boards in the bottom of the 8th. The Cubs got 1. Looked like they were going to get at least a couple. And now they're going to have to try to do some damage here in the 9th. Castro will lead it off. Jorge Soler out on deck.
Catcher is Tony Cruz.
What you would have to say, after being dormant for a while, the rivalry between these two clubs is alive and well.
Final regular season matchup. I think a lot of people would love to see them match up again in October. Rosenthal against Castro. Ball 1. 99 miles an hour.
Talk about the remarkable turnaround by Castro over the last few weeks. He's a little taller in the box. He's a little quieter in the box. There's not as much movement going on.
Statcast, the pitch that struck out Montero, 99.9 miles per hour. Finished the 8th. Been a 99 here against Castro.
Allen has also squared up his stance a little bit. That front foot not as far back as it used to be.
Yep. Two and two. Astros been able to handle Rosenthal's velocity. Spoiler there, still 2 and 2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Ground ball into center. Tying run is on. Castro turned around 100 miles an hour and sent it into center.
That was a good matchup for Castro because Rosenthal really, mostly fastballs and changeups, and Starlin, if he's going to expand the zone, it's usually breaking balls, right-handed breaking balls off the outside corner. And here comes Quentin Berry to pinch run. Great at bat by Castro. He continues to sizzle. Head right on it.
Barry runs. Soler will pinch hit in the pitcher spot. First start off the DL yesterday, and he hit a home run.
He can turn around velocity.
In the dirt.
Talking about Adams being a line drive hitter who will learn to hit the ball out of the ballpark more frequently. Soler, that's the story with him too. Earlier this year, talking with John Maley, he said, I just want to get him timed up right. I want to get his posture right in the box. I want to get him on the fastball. Once he starts hitting the fastball with regularity, and then we can start to make some tweaks in his swing and his mechanics where he can get the ball airborne a little bit more.
But he was out front of 99.
Wow. Wow. Oh my. He just took his best heater and just spun on it. It's going to be a little unnerving for a guy who throws as hard as Rosenthal does. Good swing. Quentin Berry down there at first base does not have a lot of major league time. He was signed because of his speed. He's really a specialist, certainly on this club right now. He's 25 out of 25 in his major league career in stolen bases, so it certainly becomes an option at some point here in this inning.
Schwarber on deck. There he goes. The throw in time.
Man.
Barry's out. Tony Cruz just came into the game. And he gets him. More defense looming large.
Credit Cruz with coming up with a big play.
2-2 on Soler. 1 out now. Swing and a miss. Just like that, 2 outs. It's up to Schwarber.
Hayward makes the big throw from right field. Barry gets caught stealing for the first time in his career. Cruz in from Molina, comes up with a big throw. Still have life. 0 for 3, but a couple of real good swings for Schwarber here today.
Ball 1 on Schwarber. Interesting, Kristen Northey is on deck in Coughlin's spot. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Cubs hope to get to that spot. On the ground, right to Peralta, and this will do it as Moss digs out the low throw at the other end. Cubs had their chances late, but the Cardinals, who got out to a 4-0 lead, hang on today, 4-3, to salvage a finale. Cubs' 5-game winning streak is over. And is this the last meeting between these two teams in 2015?
It might be. It might not be. But it's been fun to watch. Cubs took 2 out of 3 in St. Louis on the recent road trip. Win 2 out of 3 here this weekend. Obviously had chances late. Just could not get it done here against Rosenthal.
Benny's Beverage Depot toast of the game. Carlos Martinez playing stopper today as he gets his 14th win.
Yeah, I mean, this kid's just 23 years of age. He's got electric stuff. He's going to be really good for a long time as long as he stays healthy. The Cardinal pitching has not been all that good here in the month of September, but he stepped up today.
So your final score today, Cardinals 4, Cubs 3. Back with you tomorrow night from Wrigley Field. Brewers and the Cubs at 7 o'clock Central. Now for JD and our entire crew, this is Len Casper inviting you to stay tuned. Cap and Holly are here at the ballpark. They'll have Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live right after the break.